let's pick any matchup that you want to learn, right? And let's and I'll walk through like how I look at how to fight a character, and then we can apply that to like every character. So, which character would you want? I mean, here we'll do what I've been kind of like bragging about when I was beating up Terry, right? Terry players. On my way to Grandmaster. All right, you got to spit hot fire because this is Dowson, but okay. So Terry's got, you got to look at what the character can do in neutral because it's all about the angles and stuff. So you want to cut off their angles or either beat them in the angles that they're fighting in. So if Terry does not have power wave on the screen, then you can harass him with normals and stuff and also get your fireball on the screen. But Terry, if he gets his fireball on the screen first before you, he dominates the screen. So then with Sim, the next part of that mix up, I mean, of this like neutral, would be me coming up and doing an air fireball or floating over it and then doing a late air fireball to stopping your approach. So this stops him from being able to do drive rush or even doing crack shoot. And like you can't just be brain dead neutral. He can't even do this because if I'm floating and I land on him, I get a big combo. We can't even do burn knuckle. So it's like all about cutting off those pathways of like getting a hit, right? Or controlling neutral. But then there's also you doing nothing because like say I'm anticipating like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do if Terry does power wave. But what if Terry doesn't do power wave, right? And he's just using the threat of, hey, I might throw a power wave on the screen, and then you gotta just deal with it. And then it just changes your timing. But here's the thing is like when you're doing that, if you're not doing anything, that gives me time to do something. So it forces you to have to do something. And then after, you know, the mid-range, because honestly, the game is really won in the mid-range. Like, yeah, you can win up close with the snowball effect and stuff and creating that situation, but you don't get here until you win here first. So up here is just like, you know, versus Sim, you want to get the Sim player to crack to where they overcommit on taking a grab or overcommit on not taking a grab and setting that situation up. And with Terry is about like baiting if he's going to do DP or not, and then you still got the drive reversal level 3s on both their sides. And then you want to talk about Cammy. All right, so with Cammy, where's she at? There we go. Of course, you know, a big basic part of this game is you want to try to get them to jump, but I think people doing drive impacts or even parrying and stuff, these are all like moves used to like win the game, but they all have big drawbacks. Like you can grab people parrying, you can hit people out of the spit knuckle, you can anti-her the jumps, and then she's got the dive kick. So like with Cammy, when you're fighting her at like this distance, her mid-range right here is not as threatening. The best thing she's got is she can do this, but if you are moving a certain way or approaching neutral a certain way to where you're not doing anything with a lot of lag time behind it or recovery, you can react to her doing this and checking her with a jab or something. It's just like checking a drive rush poke. Like you see the green, you can press a button. You see anything with her doing the spinning back knuckle, you can press a button, but it's just, you don't have to worry about her canceling out of spinning back knuckle and going for like super or something, because I mean, it's only gonna work on hit, but you got to be looking for this. Like this move doesn't allow fireballs or nothing, but it loses to normals and like perfect parry and drive impact if it's already on the screen before her. So you have to do it in anticipation, but you can react and at least jab, crouch medium punch or something her out of doing this. But once the Cammy player knows you're going to stop this, then comes she's about to start walking in, doing stand medium kick, stand roundhouse, you know, come in doing crouch medium kick, drive rush, trying to get in to set up shimmy, tick throw setups, and you know, frame advantage, counter hits, all that stuff. And then the dive kick. So like Also, she can mix that up coming in because you'll be afraid trying to anti-air because of dive kick will change the trajectory and make you get hit. So what you do is you fight her outside of the range where she can do dive kick, or where it's like the, you know, most effective, and you kind of flirt in and out of that range, so you make her want to dive kick, but it'll whiff, so that you can whiff punish her. And then they'll also start trying to do like these and space them out. But again, like this strategy, spaced out drill and the air dive kick, both lose to like random walk forwards, because you walk forward and they just happen to be doing that. It makes the move unsafe and you get a punish. But that is risky because they check, if they peep that and they have really good dive kick spacing and they just put normals and stuff spacing, then you can get caught. And then also you got to be ready for the hooligan grab. So you're not ready for that, she can get a free knockdown, especially does the EX one. Then she can do her super off of it, which I just missed. But then it's about just up close baiting her do super, super or DP, so then you can punish her. But you want to stay outside of her best range, which is like right here. Oops, where her dive kick is going to hit your feet. That's the best range for her. So you walk in and out of it to where you make her do the dive kick really high in the air, and you get a punish, or make it whiff and you get a punish. Same with drill, this move. So you gotta like flirt with her a little bit, like in this range. Like, all right, I might come in, I'm not gonna come in, because you got to make her want to give something up, because they might not give anything up until they're right in that range. And Sim with his like slow fireballs can actually catch her out of her spinning back fist too. And honestly, Cammy, she's pretty simple. She's really effective. Yeah, most of the matches won right here. So you can keep them out. That's why they got to get in and do drive rush stuff. It's only like right here where it's, but I mean, it's really dangerous. However, like, you don't want to be teching grabs mid screen for no reason. Like, you want to really make them have to overcommit to be in point blank range to do the grab. Otherwise, just block it out. And then, because they're going to be doing shit like going for neutral jump setups and grabs and stuff to get you to crack. Because the game is all about getting in the situation to get the other opponent to crack, but you have to win neutral first. That's why the game is so volatile, because like people don't realize they be beating themselves, but it feels really bad to beat yourself in this game, because it doesn't feel like you're beating yourself in this game, but you are. You probably spent too much drive gauge, or you didn't try to challenge the throw, or you just let yourself get into the corner. Like, this just it's a lot of stuff, and it happens so quickly. Because there's nothing bad with taking the throw either. Like, it's not that much damage. Look, when you would compress and just die because you want the tech. So about just like seeing what their options are, how to cut them off. Because like at Sim, you know, I got my limbs and stuff and slow fireballs. And then with Sim, the best thing about him is I can constantly side switch. I don't have to just jump out the corner. I can be like, all right, I can do a poke and teleport, or I can set up some shit, the fireball to get out the corner. Yeah, this game is fun. But that is how I'll be looking at matchups. I mean, of course, I'll just use Sim, but you can apply it to the characters as long as you know their tools. All the characters, yeah.